Hello, welcome to Andale Homestead. I'm Ann, and I'm so glad that you're here. Today, we're going to take a look at the land of plenty. There's lots of food out here, but it looks a little differently than it usually does, and I thought maybe we could chat about it a little bit. Thank you for being here. You know, sometimes when you have an idea of how something is supposed to be, or be done, or look, or taken care of, then you get that in your mind. And if it's not just like what you want, you think it's wrong. Well, I have learned that it's not wrong. It's just different. And that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit. Things in life that go along with our garden. There are so many glorious things of food growing in this garden this year. I'll try not to walk too much because the leaves are very loud. But look at this broccoli, y'all. It's just beautiful. I had a friend of mine say, Ann, I've never seen broccoli growing out in the wild before. Can you eat those big leaves? Yes, ma'am, you can. A lot of people like them better than collards. So we have some broccoli that's growing. Our cabbage is coming along really well. The 1,000-head kale continues to grow. We have collards, Georgia collards over there. There is cauliflower all over the place. Let's see if I can find one for you. See my pretty little cauliflower, the little baby's growing so good. But I have struggled a little bit, and I wanted to share my struggle with you. This is our land of plenty. Now, usually, when you look at the land of plenty, it is sparkling clean. Not a leaf to be found. There's little brownie. Not a leaf to be found anywhere. I have it all swept, literally, with a broom, swept and blown out for the leaves. Now, this fence, the little fence that we have here, has stopped a lot of the leaves from coming in. And honestly, thousands of leaves have been falling. My poor husband has been out trying to get rid of these leaves on a daily basis as much as he can. But they keep falling. You can see they're coming from the sky. It's a dreary day today, but it feels really very comfortable, and I'm happy to be out here. But I digress. Let's get back to the garden, the land of plenty. Every year in the past, I have had it spick and span, completely clean, not a weed in sight. Well, this year, my husband asked, could we please leave the leaves this year? They're so good for the plants. They're so good for the roots. They hold moisture in the garden to be able to keep him from having to water as often as he needs, as we've done in the past. And I thought, well, okay, all right. It's a little uncomfortable, but okay. I'm going to show you some other areas in the garden. Hang on just a second. Doing a walking tour around the land of plenty today is quite crunchy with all these leaves, so I'll spare you that noise as much as I possibly can. But look, the stevia is back. I need to trim it up again. It's starting to bolt, and I want to trim it and have some more of my fresh stevia that I can dehydrate. The parsley is growing, and how about that? It's got some weeds around it, and it's growing in spite of those weeds. We have some peppers that are still coming along. Look at these tomatoes, y'all. We have tomatoes growing in December. Our lettuce, it doesn't look like too much right now because I just trimmed it all back. We had tacos last night. We ate lettuce from the backyard, tomatoes from the backyard, homemade sausage, homemade salsa. And it was just absolutely scrumptious. But look, you see this? That's a little bolt on the lettuce. That makes this particular stalk of lettuce bitter. So, you know, there's some bitter things in life that we don't want to eat, that we don't want to be around. And so that one will go. But even through the bitterness, I can save that bloom and let it stay as long as it will to see if I can get some seeds from it. Because that's where all of this came from, are seeds from a bitter top. So you can still get some good things from things that are not absolutely perfect. Here's our garlic that is still growing, onions, and more collards. Oh, they're wonderful. So I went over here and I'm gonna cut some celery, and I'll bring you over there. Maybe we can sit down and chat just for a second. I hope you can see me because the light, well, the sky is kind of gloomy today. It's in the middle of the day, but the sky's a little gloomy. I'm gonna be trimming up some of this celery while we're chatting a little bit, but it was difficult for me to get out here in the garden and show you the land of plenty today. And I kept hearing the Lord saying, no stress zone, Ann. It's the no stress zone. And I thought, well, how can I look at this differently so that there won't be any stress? And what I've decided is to share with you that, we do have to be a little amicable with our family, with our loved ones, to let them know that they are valuable as well. It might not be the same idea that you have of how things are supposed to be going, but their ideas are valid. There are many reasons why leaves in the garden are a good thing. There are many reasons why you don't have to pull your weeds during the wintertime in the holes of the garden cloth. Many very beneficial things that happen. You do get more moisture that's held in. There's more protection for the roots that are held in. All those kinds of things. I just like for it to look pretty. To look pretty while it's growing, to look like it's maintained, to look like it's loved. And these plants, this season in the garden doesn't need that. It's a different season. It's a different season of life. So if you're in a season where things are not quite going your way, and you had an idea of what the way things should be, the way things should look, or the way your child should be dressed, or the way your meal should be cooked, I just want to share with you that if somebody you love has another idea, it doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different. And guess what? Once I realized that, poof, all the stress went away. All the love and appreciation went away. I could still come out and talk to my babies, talk to my cauliflower and to my broccoli. I can still talk to my kale. I can still talk to the collards. I can still have tomatoes and lettuce. They don't mind the leaves. They grow just as well when they're there and when they're not. So that was my issue that I needed to get over. So if you have an issue that you might need to get over, let's stop and think of the big things in life. So things might not look exactly like you had planned. They might not come out the exact same way, but in the end, my garden is growing, my garden is thriving, and the things in your life, they can grow and they can thrive, even though it might be a little different than the way that you would have done it. I could tell you, it gives me a lot less stress in my heart to roll with the flow. And in the meantime, once these fall and winter crops are gone, the soil is going to thank us, because in the spring it will be ripe and ready for new growth. If I had stopped that, And if I had put my foot down and come out and removed all the things that I should have removed or that I thought I should have removed, I would have been a detriment. In the end, in the big picture, it wouldn't have been the right thing to do. You know, in the land of plenty, I had always been one of those where kind of made me smile when people complimented how clean and wonderful and beautiful the garden is. And there was a little ego in there thinking that. But you know what? The crops don't mind how beautiful and clean it is. The crops are thriving. We fed them a little 511 yesterday, and they're going, ooh, wee, this is good stuff. So when you feed your crops and your family and the ones that are around you that you love, you feed them with love. It doesn't matter how you get to the end, as long as the end result is good. So, just a little something to think about. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Ann. This is Edenton Homestead. I hope to see you soon, and remember, I love you. Thank you. Talk to you soon.